getting to the very end of things. There's a couple things that it's not required you memorize these, but if you have an awareness now and are told about it now, when the situation arises, you've at least got a reference point back to this moment as opposed to just walking into things blindly. So what does an emergency look like at our student ministry, at a camp, at a conference, at a small group, whatever? Here's pretty much how it goes. It's standard in most medical areas, but we're going to go with it here as well. The first thing you do as a leader, if there's a medical emergency, stay with the student. Stay with the student at all times and send someone else to go call for help. A second person then should call for help. If available from a landline, that's become a dying thing, landlines, and so usually it's going to be practically from a cell phone. No one's going to say, go get the landline, right? And you're going to want to get a cell phone. If there happens to be a landline available, use that first because the dispatcher can trace the address immediately, know exactly where you're calling from, but practically it's probably going to be a cell phone. So make sure you have the address of where you are handy. And of course, dial 911. Of course, after that, once you've kind of cared for the student, contact 911, then let one of the team know. Don't let us know first if it's a student is bleeding out kind of thing. Like just call the ambulance and then we'll figure it out. And then you will be required to fill out an accident report form after so that we can have a documented thing because of course it'll ping our church insurance and everything else that goes along with it. So care, call, contact, close out, the 4 C's. You're not going to remember those. I don't expect you to. But when it comes down to it and you're like, oh, wait. Okay, there's 4 C's. Care, call, and we'll figure out the rest when the time comes. But at least now you've heard it. When it comes to reporting accidents or things like that, the not quite so emergency but still needs some attention, just grab one of the staff members. We'll help you take care of the student and then fill out a form. But that first section we just talked about was more for like, this is a critical emergency. Just take things in your own hands. We trust you. Go for it. But if it's not critical, get us in the loop. There's some ways that we handle inclement conditions. I'm not going to walk through all these right now because they're pretty self-explanatory. If there's a fire, get out of the building. If there's an earthquake, like get under a table. We don't actually have a church-wide policy for how to handle earthquakes, but get outside. If you can't, get under a table, do your standard earthquake training. If the power's out, or if there's something going on, like a wind advisory and it blows the power out or whatever, just keep your eye on student social media for updates because we can get communication out that way even if there's no other kinds of communication going on. And then if there's any sort of campus emergency, which is a suspicious person on campus, an unknown person with a weapon, someone under the influence, a threat that's issued, or the police issue a warning during an event, what we do is try to move people away from that situation as best as we can. Contact myself or the program lead, and we will help give you some guidance. And if you're unable to contact us for whatever reason and you feel like there's a threat, just call 911 and the Santa Maria Police Department will be here to assist. Now, this is kind of an unfortunate reality of the world we live in, but we need to also address the idea of if there were an active shooter to be in our midst, how would we handle that? There's 3 words, and if you don't remember those 4 C's from before, you should memorize these ones. The 3 words, basically in order of preference. Number 1, run. If you are able to get away, get as many people away with you as you can. Number 2, if you can't run, then hide. Find a place to hide. We got some great spots backstage. The doors lock. You can get in a bathroom. There's a million doors in this campus you can maybe hide behind. But hide as best as you can. And then, of course, barricade doors, stay quiet, do that whole thing. And if you're not able to run, you're not able to hide, then start swinging. Fight, throw a chair, throw the air hockey table, throw our microphones, throw Kyle if you need to, right? Just like fight as best as you can against this person. So run, hide, and fight. That's an order of preference. Don't fight first. Run first, or hide, or fight in order. We will have 4 rules that we talk about with students in most of our camps and retreats. You'll see these, we'll go through these in pre-trip meetings, but they're pretty much this way. Respect the people, respect the place, be in the right place at the right time, and make wise choices. You can read more about that, but we feel like those 4 rules kind of guide everything. So if you need 4 things to kind of hold students to, if you're like looking for a standard to hold them to, are they respecting people? Are they respecting the place? Are they in the right place? And are they being wise? And are students always going to be wise? No. They're going to do dumb things. We'll journey with them when they do the dumb things. But we want to help them honor those 4 things as best as we can. The very last section is just our housekeeping. If you want to have some questions about like what do you do when you miss a commitment or a student misses youth group or you need a night off or whatever, check that out. That'll kind of guide you through. Basically, the most common one is if you need a night off, you should be letting 2 people know, your co-leader and your program lead. So it's your co-leader and the person that's in charge of the program as a whole. That will help your co-leader know that they're going to have to cover for you that night. That'll let the program lead know in case there's any holes they got to fill with your absence. And so that's pretty much all you got to do with that. If you want to register for an event, go online, fccsantamaria.org/students. You can register for all the things there. And as leaders in our ministry, if you have students that want to go to programs within our ministry, for almost everything we do, we give you as leader 10% off. So you're just going to go online, register for an event as you would, and type in the code YS for youth staff, YS student, and that will knock 10% off of the cost for your student to go to whatever event that is. Now, you as a leader, you're almost always free to go to every event. We pay for that. Thank you for honoring us with your time and your talents. We want to honor you as well. But we want to just say thanks to you by giving your students a little money off as well. The only thing it doesn't apply to is mission trips. Mission trips, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as cost goes as much as we can already. We can't afford to give anyone else 10% off. So, but as a leader, we want to say thanks in that way. To stay connected, you can go online, go on social media, you're part of our email chain, and if you don't know how to access any of that, just reach out to one of the youth staff and we'll point you in the right direction. And at this point, you've made it all the way through to the end of the youth staff training. Thank you for the time that you have taken to sit and to do this. I know it doesn't come without cost. There's other things you could be doing, things you could be working on, ways you could be investing in your family, and other pieces of life that need to happen as well. But thank you for making this a priority so that you can jump in on day one, knowing what's expected, having a good idea of what you're getting into, and ultimately loving students as best as you and I possibly can for the glory of the gospel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email is going to be on the bottom of the screen right here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on a Wednesday night or Sunday morning here soon. Take care, friends. Talk to you soon.